Talking to a narcissist is always an exhausting endeavor that's full of numerous possible pitfalls. Their distorted view of the world causes them to misinterpret and twist almost everything you have to say. When that narcissist is your parent, however, their distortion and manipulation takes everything to the next level. You've been dealing with it all your life, so it can be difficult to see their emotional abuse. Additionally, your parents are the first authority figures in your life. You're used to listening to them and doing what they tell you. When you realize one or both of your parents are narcissistic, it can really change everything, including how you talk to them. Here are some of the tactics I have used in transforming my conversations with my narcissistic mother, and you can as well. Number 1. Limit conversation time and topic. Another good idea when talking to your narcissistic parents is to limit the conversation time and topic. You should take control of how much time you have to spend with them so that you don't have to be exposed to their toxicity for long periods of time. If you're timid about that, you can arrive to visit them with an excuse for why you have to leave after a certain amount of time. That lets them know up front that you'll only be staying for a while. You can also set a boundary regarding the topics you're willing to discuss. This can be a good practice for setting boundaries. If your narcissistic parents bring up something you don't want to talk about, simply say, I'm not going to discuss that. After setting that boundary, be sure to enforce it. Narcissists will always push boundaries. It makes them feel powerful, and once you've said you don't want to talk about it, they will try to bring it up in more subtle ways. Don't fall for it. If they try that, just say, I'm not willing to discuss that. I had to do that several times with my mother before she finally learned that I meant what I said. Number 2. Don't use binary terms. Binary thinking means you divide the world into one of two categories. Something is either good or bad, friend or foe, or black or white. There are no gray areas, no middle ground. Narcissists think in very binary terms. That, in combination with the fact that they lack object constancy, means they see you as either on their side or as an enemy. If they come to see even their own child as an enemy, they cannot hold a positive thought about you. They see you as evil rather than good, and they will try to crush you to prove they are on the right side of things. That's why you want to avoid putting things in binary terms. Don't make something either good or bad. Don't even use those words. If the narcissist believes you're putting them on the opposite side from where you are, they will see you as an enemy. If that happens, they will never see your point of view. They won't even consider it. Additionally, they will become very aggressive in opposing you. Always clarify that there are gray areas and nuanced positions on everything. Leave them room to maneuver, and you'll likely have a more enjoyable conversation with them. If you box them in, however, they will fight back with unexpected vigor. Number 3. Model empathy. Narcissists famously lack empathy. They don't understand how their actions affect other people, but it can help reduce their narcissistic tendencies if you can show them how to be empathetic. Because the narcissist has to remain obsessively focused on protecting the false image they created to replace their true self-image, they simply can't put themselves in someone else's place. This is the reason they don't experience empathy in the same way as a healthy person. But they are capable of learning from the people around them. If you can show them how to behave empathetically, they can often at least mimic empathy. That can help with interpersonal communication attempts. While they might not feel emotional empathy, they can learn to understand intellectually how someone else might feel as a result of their behavior. It's not the kind of emotional empathy that you might be accustomed to, but it is at least progress for a narcissist in understanding other people. It can help them to grow and even reduce their narcissistic tendencies. I have used this tactic with my mother for many years, and she is now able to even predict how someone might feel as a result of other people's behavior. It's not perfect, but it's progress. Number 4, talk about topics that interest them. When talking with narcissists, it can also help to talk about topics that you know interest them. They will talk more openly and honestly when you do. This is also a good technique you can use as a diversion tactic to get them out of their rage and/or obsessive thinking. They are flattered when you show an interest in something that interests them. That puts you in a good light with them too, which makes them much more likely to treat you respectfully and in a loving manner. It also often puts them in a good mood too. It's important to remember that narcissists are human and they have interests they enjoy talking about just like anyone else. If you want to maintain a relationship with your narcissistic parents, showing interest in what interests them can strengthen your relationship. I have used this tactic many times with my own mother. I remember when I discovered how well it could work to distract her when she was in a rage. I could often get her off the topic very effectively. Number 5, remember your truth. It's always important to remember your truth when you're communicating with narcissistic parents. Narcissists are famous for gaslighting. This is where they will try to cause you to doubt your own interpretation of reality itself. Like my mother always did, I'm betting your narcissistic parents have told you time and time again how you're too sensitive or that you're imagining things. They might have told you that something you know happened never did, or that they were only joking when they said that cruel thing. This is gaslighting. They are attempting to undermine your trust in your own intuition so they can better manipulate and control you. But you're not imagining things, and you're not too sensitive, and they weren't joking. Most of the time, you can trust your gut when you perceive abusive treatment, though it can be often very subtle and you might miss it. When you do perceive it, you're usually not wrong. That's why it's important to stay grounded in your truth. It can help to journal events as they happen, so you have something to look back on if someone questions your memory. You'll soon find that your original interpretation of the events was usually correct. Number 6, don't defend or justify yourself. When you're communicating with your narcissistic parents, don't defend or justify yourself. If you have to tell them about a decision you've made, simply state your decision and stand firm. They may try to change your mind or get you to reconsider, but you don't have to justify your decision to them. When you do that, narcissists perceive it as an expression of weakness. They see it as uncertainty and will try to manipulate you into making a different decision. Unless you feel uncertain about your choice, don't let this convince you to reconsider. You can respectfully tell your parents, "I'm afraid my mind's made up. I'm sorry you don't agree, but I feel this is the right choice for me." This is also a tactic that works when you're in an argument with them. If they're angry with you about something, you shouldn't defend your choice or justify it to them. Simply let them know this is the choice you've made. You can even say, "We'll just have to agree to disagree." And number 7, maintain your composure. Above all else, it's vital to stay calm whenever you're talking to your narcissistic parents. When you react emotionally, they can see what pushes your buttons and use it against you. My mother did this all the time. She would say something that she knew bothered me, and then when I responded emotionally, she would say, "Why are you so emotional about this? Could it be you're uncertain of your choices?" That would usually send me into a rage because I knew she had purposefully pushed my buttons. The more you react emotionally, the more information you're giving to the narcissist. And make no mistake about it, they will use it against you when they have a chance. Narcissists are already adept at spotting vulnerabilities, and your narcissistic parents have been looking for those in you all of your life. Don't give them any more information than they already have. Use meditation, take 10 deep breaths, excuse yourself for a few moments, or simply end the conversation to avoid reacting emotionally. If you don't do that, they will know exactly what they need to do to manipulate you. They will use that information every chance they get. In the end, narcissistic parents are among the most abusive people you'll ever know. They have known you all of your life, and they have learned what bothers you and how they can use that. Talking to them is a minefield of emotional traps and manipulative tactics. They know more than anyone else on the planet exactly what they need to do to get a rise out of you. Worst of all, they create emotional wounds with their abuse, and then they use those very wounds to manipulate you even more as an adult. It's vicious, and it's the furthest thing from the unconditional love parents are supposed to give their children. You can stop them, however, by diffusing your emotional triggers and healing those old wounds. I have created a 5-step roadmap to heal emotional triggers to help you do just that. This free guide will teach you how to recognize, diffuse, and heal emotional triggers so that no one can use them to manipulate you ever again. Just click on the link below this video and I'll send this handy guide directly to your inbox. Thanks for watching.